Sorry about that, folks. I'm here with Dr. John Bell. My fingers got in the way and I actually hit end broadcast. So this is part 2 of 2 in our tour of the what was the Port Jervis High School, Port Jervis Middle School, now will become the elementary school. I'm Kelly Decker, Mayor of the City of Port Jervis. This is Dr. John Bell, Superintendent of Schools, and we're right now in the former auditorium, and we're just about to move on from this point here. But you can go back and look at part 1, and part 1 will fill you in up to this point. So you were saying the windows.
Yes, there'll be rectangular windows on the first floor, but on the second floor they're going to put windows with an arch to kind of mirror the old windows, so we don't forget the really cool look that the arch windows have. They'll have arch windows in that classrooms on that second floor.
Very nice.
So that room will be kind of special.
That is cool.
And then you'll see concrete all above us that supports the third floor where all the science labs are.
Yeah, and that would have been the same as far as the gymnasium.
That's right. Yep.
Right. But the size of the I-beams are huge.
Go to the second floor.
Yep. So this is where you came in most recently. It has actually been a year since we've been in this school. 1 year ago, yesterday was the day that we parted the Port Jervis Middle School, and it went under construction.
Now again, we're in the old stairwell.
That won't even be accessible.
That's right. No one will even know. What will happen is, when they build the new walls, the wall will come across here. There'll be a door, and there'll be a janitor's closet. And then in the back, so here will be the front wall to a janitor's closet. And then there'll be another wall here with a door. So the custodians, if they need to get into
they can get
these
access.
Old service staircases, but the kids would never see it.
Amazing. And again, as he said, the old elevator, the elevator that was put in probably about 30 years ago will be removed. Will there be an elevator on this side or just on the
Just the one in the new addition. And then, so again, there used to be a wall here. Years ago, if you're old like us, this was room 206 where Mrs. Cooper taught health for many years. And later on, Heather Robinson taught science here.
Yep.
So there used to be a wall here. Now you can look straight through the auditorium and right down East Main Street.
And it almost looks like it was naturally there, but for some reason, I mean, we don't ever remember seeing it. Maybe it's the way they designed it with for the elevator shaft.
That could be.
Yeah.
So again, this is the side that just came out of asbestos abatement, so you don't see a lot of construction. You'll see just the steel beams because we tore it down to the steel beams.
So just to give you an idea, this was the boys' bathroom on the second floor. You had 201. The last former room of mine right here, 202. I remember Mr. Gottlieb in that one.
Yeah.
The nurse's office that was here. Nurse's office will be down in the new addition?
Yes.
Okay. And then, of course, the main office, which is right here. That's going to be down in the new addition.
So again, with the office leaving and the nurse's office leaving, all this will be reconfigured for all classroom space. You always had classrooms across the back side, but the front didn't have classrooms. Now it'll have classrooms.
I see it. I mean, it was all the walls this block?
Yes.
All the way down?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. So, like you said, it's almost like a Lincoln log
Yeah.
type of way.
It's called pyro block, and then every once in a while you'll see some terracotta. See the orange here?
Yep.
And that's where, if you have instances where there was terracotta, oftentimes that's where you would have asbestos. Whether it was the glue or whatever you're using, and that's when you have to do asbestos abatement.
But I tell you, even looking at the beams here, they all look in great shape. The old hardwood floors look in great shape.
And one of the things we're doing, just as an extra level of stability and security, you'll see we have all concrete floors in the hallway and concrete going across. But what we've done in the new wing is we've installed steel beams
next to the concrete
going across that will connect. They connect to these beams. So everywhere you look, there's steel going across to make the building bigger and stronger than it's ever been. We always had steel beams going up and down the halls, but now we have the cross braces that are all the way.
So this is the second floor center staircase, which only used to go straight down. Now, of course, you can go to the first floor, you can come up to the second floor, and you'll be able to go up to the third floor.
So now we're on this side, which is the gym half of the building. We call this area B, and you can see the classroom walls have been built. And you can
Oh,
see,
even the bump outs.
you can see the bump outs.
So this is where the lockers will
The
be.
lockers will be back in here.
Ah, yep.
So you got the bump out at each doorway, and then the lockers will go here. And then one of the things we're working on now is picking the accent colors. So each floor looks a little different, so the kids will know where they are.
Oh, okay.
You know, if they see red, they know that's the first floor. If they see a different color, that's the second, and a different color, the third.
We don't have much choices, right? It's like white, black, red.
Yeah, well, we're gonna, because it's an elementary school. we're
Yeah,
gonna
you
try
can
to add some more
color it up, right? Yeah. So this would have been
years ago, this was Mrs.
Planis's room, right? Yeah.
You know, I think it was at that.
Mr. Kaufman was in here
Yep,
most
yep.
recently. Yeah.
So you see new wall between the two classrooms, new wall to the hallway,
Mm-hmm.
the same exterior wall with brand new windows that look old.
And the windows, like I said in the first video, the windows, so many people have commented on, just add so much character to the building. But if you look at the original middle school or high school, they had windows like this. I think it was in the early 1980s, late 70s when they replaced the windows.
The architects did a great job of trying to bring back those pieces, those architectural pieces from the 20s when it was built.
Right.
I mean, these are big, beautiful, energy-efficient windows, but from the outside, they look like the old windows that we would see in the old yearbooks
Right.
from the 20s all the way to the 60s.
And just so the public knows, there's almost like a coating on 'em. So I know in the afternoon, the light comes through
Yeah.
here with the sun, and on the other side, so there's kind of like a tinted to it, so it keeps it from getting the room too hot. Although we did establish that this school will be air conditioned. I know that's been a question a lot of people have asked.
So here's another classroom.
This is
no windows yet, but
I'm trying to
probably.
guess Mr. Knapp's room.
Yeah, I was going to say either Mr.
Knapp or Mr. Peters.
Or Mr. Peters,
Yeah.
either 202 or 203. Probably.
And that would be Mrs. O'Connell most recently. Mr. Ross was there. I was here. Mr. Spears was here. This is where I started, actually. Yes, this would be.
But you can see water lines for fire extinguishers, duct work, all that's done on this side.
Yeah.
Now they're going to turn loose on the other side.
The sprinkler system is in.
With the exception of the old gym and the old auditorium, you can see the classrooms on this half of the building are done, and now they're going to go rapid fire doing the same thing on the other side. So the moving the old classrooms into new classrooms is actually the easy part. The hard part is turning the gym into classrooms and turning the auditorium into classrooms.
Right. And it seems as if maybe they poured some concrete here. Like the floors seem much.
Believe it or not, these are the original
These are the original floors.
stone floors.
They do have cuts in them.
Yep. So I'm not sure, it might even be concrete.
Yeah.
And then this door used to be over by the bathroom. Now the door's
Right.
on the other side. When we were kids, this was 207, and Mr. Roberts was in here.
And I should have asked that. So each floor is there going to be bathrooms like there was before?
What they're doing is this will be part of the classroom to make the classroom bigger.
Right.
But there are big, large group bathroom, boys on one side, girls on the other, right over here, like where the gym area is, in
Yeah.
the center hallway.
Like you said, this was back in our day. It was Mr. Roberts' room and Miss Spark most recently. And so this was the second floor girls' room, but now you see it's blocked. It's actually blocked off. It's right there. This is the old staircase, and again, like we said, the staircase. The only people who have access are the custodians.
Obviously, it'll be cleaned up and everything,
Sure.
but it'll be behind the door, closed, locked doors.
You know what I always found interesting walking up here, Dr. Bell, was right here. See this hole right here?
Mm-hmm.
So they had central vacuuming. and that they must have put in the 1920s. And there used to be flip lids, and every so often throughout the school you could see it. And I inquired one time about it, and it was the first type of vacuum, but it didn't last long. So now we're moving up to the third floor. For those of you that haven't been here in a long time, if you came out, the first thing that you would see over here is the cafeteria, and the library would have been here to the left.
We'll go this way towards the old cafeteria. Basically take the entire cafeteria and the kitchen area that was against the far wall, blow all the walls out, and what we've created here is, this is a STEAM lab, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math lab. That'll be here. And then the library will be back here. This will be the library. And there's
Very nice.
There's a librarian's office. And then back there is going to be the little studio with the green screen. And right here, the doors here and the double doors there, there'll be sliding doors that will open. So you can have the library and the STEAM lab all open and use it as one giant space. Or you can close the doors so that you can have two different activities going on at once.
And you said green screen. What are we going to have, like TV stuff?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
And they started a new show called ASK Today.
Awesome. That's
So
great.
they want to keep that going.
I see they're already putting drywall in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really moving along. Well, that will, I'm guessing, would be an office there.
That's the office for the librarian.
Yeah.
And then again, this wall back here, this was the part the kids never saw. This was in the kitchen back here.
Right. Yeah. So the serving line, I'm standing about right where the serving line is. So this was the kitchen. There used to be a dumbwaiter right in this area right here, and all the kitchen.
And then here's the second double doors into the lab. And then there were double doors over there to go out.
So here's something interesting. So even though this is an exterior, a pretty solid exterior wall, they're insulating it. So to keep it energy efficient.
Yep.
Excellent. Now here's something that was small. This window here, that was a really small window, but at one time it must have been a pretty big window. And this was the old fire tower right here that was attached to the building. Now
you'll see, you'll have elevator shaft to the right and stairwell to the left.
And it looks like for at least maintenance, it'll be an easy access to the roof.
To get to the roof.
Right.
All the stuff that's up there. Now this used to be
Home ec.
home ec.
Yep.
This is now going to become an art room. The kiln will have its own room for the kiln there.
Wow.
And then you'll have your art room here where home ec used to be. We should take a walk to the front, right?
Sure. And we're going to squeeze through some walls, and we're going to enter into the library. So this little notch right here was the separation between what was the home ec room and the library. So we're actually at the back of the library, and this was the library office.
And this will be all storage. We'll keep the look to the outside. That window will be replaced with a new one, but this will be the storage area for all the art supplies.
Very nice. Keeping the space. Oh, Miss Bracestead must be rolling.
So this is the old library. This will become a traditional classroom. And then there used to be
So I
windows
did
here.
see, yeah, I can see it here, that they must have had to put some support. I'm going to try to, right here, and it goes down through here. So it must have been from the old balcony.
Yeah,
That
they
was-
wanted to make sure they secured the north and south walls
Right.
before they do any work with the balcony, so it wouldn't cave in. Of course.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
they've got the supports on both
This is
sides.
smart.
There you get a good look at the windows from the outside.
Yeah.
You can also
Very-
see the center staircase that's being all reconfigured in those doors. You can see the sidewalk where the gravel and the dumpster that's full, the container, that's where the buses will roll in this way and then go out on the west side.
So you're still, even the front yard's still going to be
Oh, yeah.
mostly grassed. You'll
Yep.
have
There'll
a
be
grass
all the way
area
to the
here.
sidewalk. You'll have a bike rack and all the things you like
Nice.
before.
Yeah.
over there, you can see a huge hole in the wall. That's over by room 301, and the staircase that used to lead down.
Now, is that staircase going to stay?
Those staircases will come out because a new staircase is
because
going
there'll be
on the
classrooms.
very end of the building, right?
Right, gotcha. So again, this is the old library, of course, being made into art. And what is going to be on this side?
This is actually a regular classroom. I think it's going to be used for special education.
Okay.
And then all this, where you see all the steel here, this is bathrooms.
Okay. Oh yeah, you see the plumbing already.
So there are bathrooms on all 3 floors in almost the same spot. So all the plumbing can work in one area.
Right.
You look out this way, where the old staircase was. You can look right out to the pines at Gwinnett Field and towards Big and Little. And then again, here's the 3rd floor classrooms.
Again, even with the bump outs, the hallways seem so much wider.
Sure, because the lockers aren't going to come all the way out as far as the bump out, so you're
Right.
going to have a lot of room. So again, you see all the bump outs for the classrooms. The lockers will go in here. Remember, we used to have. There used to be
Hey,
all that
Bubbles,
class-
Bubbles is still around. His room's going to be here,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. So again, you see this half all has the walls and the door frames.
So this was, at least in our time, this was the guidance suite
Right.
in here. And it's interesting because I really wanted to see as they broke that staircase through. So this is that center staircase that now comes up to,
Three-story, right.
and there used to be, the staircase was probably right around here for the belfry.
And there will be a new staircase put in. And I think it's going to be on this corner, this side.
Yeah, because I think that the access has got to be
Yeah.
somewhere over in there.
So you'll still be access to the belfry behind locked doors, of course.
Of course.
But yeah, now you get to see stairs come all the way to the 3rd floor, which they never did before. They used to stop at the 2nd.
Very neat.
So that side has walls, it has all the duct work, they're running the electric.
So I got to tell you, this is what I remember hearing about. This catwalk
Walk,
right
yep,
here.
yep.
That's the catwalk for the old ventilation system. Amazing, because back in 1922, when they put the ventilation system in here, there were just fans on the roof of the building, which they stopped in the wintertime, so you didn't have any. But in the springtime, of course, we don't remember it back when we were 12 years old, but there was a constant breeze because there was air being sucked out of the building and air being brought into the building.
Pretty amazing,
And,
100 years
yeah.
ago, they figured out a way to make it happen.
Yeah, without any of the technology that they have today. Yeah, and this is so all open space now.
Sure, I mean, when we were kids over here, this was Mr. Metallic and Mr. Hubbard's
That's
rooms,
right.
you know?
That's right.
And over here, you had Mr. Donnelly and Mr. Chuckrin and Mrs. Myers.
Mr. McAndrew in this
Olmec.
corner. Yeah.
Yep, Mr. McAndrew took Mr. Donnelly's spot in there.
Yeah.
And now we're heading right towards the science rooms, 301, 302, 303, 304. Back in our day, right, it was Mr. Carr, Mr. Cunningham, Mr. Saul,
Yep.
and Mr. Moyer.
As a matter of fact, my locker was right in this area right here for 8th grade. Because I remember it was in the narrow part.
So here are the 4
Oh.
science labs.
Look at, and still the hardwood floors. For those of you that have been in the school recently, this was the SRO office right here. There was a closet here, and then that was 30, I don't remember the numbers, 302?
Yeah.
The 301 is over there. But this, Mr. Saul's room, Mr.
Yeah.
Carr's room, or Mr.
Moyer.
Moyer's room,
Yep.
right?
And look at the view out these windows. It's incredible. So somewhere in here was the wall between Mr. Cunningham and Mr. Saul back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s.
Oh, and where I'm standing right now is actually the teacher's lounge.
Oh, right,
Right.
in the middle.
Yep.
So there's the view looking down East Main towards the hospital.
So as I was saying in the first video, all of this was the Fowler property. It went all the way down almost to the hospital. This would have been probably about 10 or 15 acres. And then on the other side was the rest of the 40 that took you almost to where Jay's Mobile was. And Yeah, so if you read the history of it, that they had tunnels because in the wintertime they needed to go to different parts, whether there was the auditorium or the bathhouses or whatever, and they had tunnels underground. So I was telling the contractors, you may end up digging and you may find something. I mean, imagine most of it's been dug up by now, but.
So all of this will become traditional classroom space. On this end, it's 4th grade, and on the other end, down by the old cafeteria, which is the new library, is 5th grade. So K1 on the 1st floor, 2nd and 3rd on the 2nd floor, and 4th and 5th grades up on the 3rd. So two grades per floor. And we can go this way. One of the things we've discovered is they definitely made alterations to this building over the many years for fire safety. We found pictures in the 60s when they added the fire escape for the girls' locker room off the back of the building.
Off the back, yeah.
We found that this wall, when you turn this corner,
Oh yeah, see, this is not an original wall. Yeah.
you see actual cinder blocks. So we believe that this staircase was put in probably in the 60s when they did a lot of the fire safety upgrades. They built, probably this classroom just went to here back in the day.
I was always wondering why there were the doors when we get down there. The second floor, there were doors there. Yeah,
So I
that
think what
seems
they did
right.
is there used to be stairs. There was stairs, of course, from the 1st floor that would get you up to the balcony on both sides of the foyer of the
Right.
auditorium.
Yep.
And then what they did is they put this block wall in, and they built a staircase to get you down to the 2nd floor.
And you can almost see it where they probably chiseled out
Right.
the floor right there.
And you see where there's brick and
Exactly.
everything.
Yep.
That's old. Where you see cinder block, that was probably done. We think around 1967, 68, somewhere in that vicinity, and they put a skylight
We
in.
wouldn't remember that, right?
That's it.
Very cool.
And
And
then-
then, again, this is the part over top of the covering of the auditorium, and this will be what, just storage?
This will be storage. We'll replace that window, but keep the same style, of course, put a new window in. And then this will be a storage area.
Very nice.
The archives room, they used to call it. And if you go down these stairs, it brings you right to the auditorium balcony. And you can see this is
Incredible tour. You know, a lot of history here. So much. Yeah, so you can almost see where, like, it may have ended,
Right.
where the brick is, and some new block. There might have been windows there.
Yeah, it looks like they covered up
Right.
those small windows.
Yeah.
They probably were similar to these two here.
Yep.
They probably had them. And then this is cinder block because this is new.
Mm-hmm.
And now it brings you to the balcony.
For those, many people never saw this. This was the copier room where copies were made for years in this room. But again, like this is the balcony, and you would come up either this side from the ticket booth or from the other side from the ticket booth, and then you would come into the balcony. And now seeing it open, wow.
Isn't it something?
You know? Oh my gosh.
Can you imagine watching a show from up here?
Yep.
You know, people that are older than us remember this. We didn't get a chance to ever see a show from here.
And you have, you step down. It's hard because with when you're shooting live, you can't change your zoom or your. But just to sit here, I'd be almost sitting in the first seat and looking over the balcony at the show. Very cool. Now this will all be blasted out of here, right?
Yes. It's all. This balcony will leave. So will the balcony in the gym, so that we can have classrooms go all the way to the front wall. So again, up here you have third grade that is up again in this area here. Again, the auditorium floor becomes flat, and then a second floor goes all the way across from there over to those landings, and create a whole second floor with steel beams and then block walls.
And like you said, so where I'm guessing about right here is about where the floors
Right.
match. So what they're going to do is, like you said, they're going to leave these windows here, and so this classroom will have a half dome window.
Yes, and the classroom over here, actually they'll probably get 2 and 2 probably, 'cause-
Right,
or
right.
one of them might end up being in the hallway, in the middle perhaps.
Very neat.
Because we'll shoot straight across here with the steel beams, then build block walls. But the kids will never know.
Never know.
That this was an auditorium because you won't be able to distinguish it. It'll just look like the second floor.
Right.
That's why it's important to do the pictures. And
Pictures and the
video.
videos. And yeah. No. Well, I certainly appreciate doing this. All right, we'll go down the.
Which way you want to go?
We'll go back down into the
Sure.
to the vestibule of the auditorium and then wrap it up. So this is what people would remember the vestibule if you came to the Port Jervis High School. Well, back then in the high school, in the middle school, you would walk in to the vestibule, and you would actually go over here to the ticket booth, and you would get your tickets, and you would wait here. And those that were going up in the balcony could either go on that side or up on this side here. And if you're going into the auditorium itself, you'd walk through any of these three doors. Now, most recently, these were used as offices. That's why that is closed off right there. But will there be doors here?
I believe there'll be a door. There'll be these doors will become windows.
Windows.
So
right.
they'll have the same artwork and everything above them, but they'll have a floor to 4 feet and then a window. So
Right.
we wanted to keep the outside
Looks the same.
character of the building, but not have doors all over the place that could become a safety issue.
Right. And again, these staircases will be gone. This wall will be gone.
Yes.
Because, and I'm sure that they figure out the way to support this. Because, it's pretty intricate here how they have a beam.
Look at that giant beam.
That beam is huge to support the, and you think about this. This was 100 years ago, 101 years ago that they built this building. And of course, they had a challenge, it got voted down several times
Right.
before the voters finally agreed on it.
And then the only other thing I was going to add is in terms of timing, the plan is for the new addition and the other half of the building, which is the gym to the center staircase. The idea is that all would become available sometime in early 2024. And then this half, the auditorium half of the building, would be ready for September of 24.
So by September 24, which is next year, it doesn't seem like it's
Yeah,
that far,
right.
but it's really going to be quick. One school year, and kindergarten through 5th grade will
Yes.
be in this building.
Yep.
And then the middle school will take over what we now know as ASK.
Right, and it'll be grades 6, 7, and 8. And then we'll have the beauty of having middle school, high school attached. Instead of having elementary students with high schoolers, we'll have middle and high together. They ride the buses together. They follow the same bell schedule. They play sports. They can share teachers. So having middle school and high school together, from my experience in the past, it's going to be tremendous.
I have to tell you, George Roman's watching. Comes up.
Room 204, Mr. Roman, Twinkie Power.
So anyway, Dr. Bell, anything else that you'd like to add?
No, it's really an exciting time. It's the best of both worlds. You keep the outside character of probably one of the most prestigious buildings in town, but yet the kids are going to get a brand new school on the inside. So it's the best of both worlds.
Right. Well, I want to really thank you for taking this opportunity. I got a lot of calls, and I'm sure the school district did too. So what we're going to do is I will be downloading this, that the school district will be able to upload it on its website. It'll be available on the mayor's Facebook page. But again, thank you very much for taking the time so that we can look at our old middle school, for some their high school, and for the future elementary kids.
There's a lot to be proud of.
Thank you.